Alrighty, welcome everybody to She's of Love. Welcome also Mark Abrams. Welcome back, I should say. We're honored to have you on the show once again. Last episode, yes. Last episode, you shared your awakening story, and I will say it's one of the most unique ones we've had on the show. Where was it CNN? What was or
ABC.
NBC?
ABC.
ABC.
Yeah.
So you worked for ABC as you were a cameraman and like
As an engineer.
Engineer. And the stories that you were telling of your work and how kind of behind the scenes it all runs.
So interesting. I'll link it. Our last interview together. I'll put it in the comment section of this video so people can go back and watch it.
Yeah, very entertaining. So
and interesting.
Interesting, yes.
Very entertaining.
So this episode, we thought we would kind of take a deeper dive into that and talk more about the spiritual side and the spiritual growth that you would have had to go through to get to where you are now. Because it's very
your perspective, your spiritual perspective. We're really interested to hear about that and how your awakening story grew you, and what happened after your, for the years after, and how you got to where you are now.
Well, I mean, it's been a pretty simple progression. When you work in the mainstream media for 46 years, and for most of that time, you know that they're lying to the people. They're misrepresenting the facts, and that, I'm sorry, it's seditious behavior.
Yeah.
Then it only got exacerbated by the fact that in 2012, Obama put through, there was an old law called the Smith-Mundt Act that was put in place, I believe, in 1948 to prevent the media from putting out propaganda.
Right.
Obama took a step forward and put out the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act, which in black and white allowed you to put out propaganda.
All right.
That's an abuse of the First Amendment, and it's also lying to the general public. And when you're putting out an agenda and you're putting out pointed anti-government propaganda, that's seditious behavior. That's treason. So I had just come back from the White House, and I had hoped that there would have been a press conference that I could have gotten into, but unfortunately, my luck, there were none for the 2 days that I was up there. But I wanted to ask, when are the general reporters going to be held accountable, including in a Nuremberg type of manner, for the seditious behavior that they have exhibited?
Yeah, I'd like to know that too myself.
Well, when you set out purposely to deceive people, that's how we got where we are.
Yeah.
And the problem is that people, mostly through the media, became so brainwashed that they believed everything they were told, which only allowed the governments to gain more control. Because now you had a bunch of, when I grew up, they called the TV the boob tube, the idiot box.
Yeah, the idiot box.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it was. And we had a whole bunch of idiots sitting there watching the guy in the shirt and tie every night tell you what was.
Yeah. And it's the same here in Australia. We talk about it all the time because we don't watch television anymore. That the current affairs and news in Australia is, it's almost an addiction here. People, love it. They watch it. We have so many news channels. We have so many news programs. We have news wrapped up as, you know, commentary. We have news wrapped up as like secret advertising. They have a channel, a show where they will, you know, it's a current affairs show, but really all it is advertising for companies who will pay big bucks to be on that show, and people watch it. And they not asking the questions. What's going on here? Why am I seeing this on television? People don't ask it. They just consume it and consume it and consume it.
Well, and this is a generational thing now.
Yeah.
You know, when you figure that TV really came out in a mainstream manner back in 1948.
Yeah.
So you're talking almost 80 years. And in those 80 years, what I might have said it the last time that we were together, but I'd like to explain it to people all the time. There's a difference between journalism,
Yeah.
which is ascertaining facts and delivering those facts to the public. And then you hope that the public is smart enough to listen to it, absorb it, and if it resonates with them, believe it. And if it doesn't, then move on to something else.
Yeah.
But it's gone from journalism to editorialism.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right. And that's what they do. They
Yeah.
editorialize, and editorializing is inserting your opinion.
And that
And
was during the Obama administration.
long before that.
Long before that.
When big business stepped in and took over the media.
Right.
That's when it happened. Because what a lot of people believed about the media and what a lot of the alternative media channels have put out there is, oh, the CIA has always been involved in the media. Having worked in the business, I don't believe that. The rationale, though, is somewhat correct. Because when you do a local, state, or federal, or international story that has to do with politics, there's only one place that you're going to get that information, and that is from somebody in the government.
Yeah.
At that point, I do believe that it was being written, it was being coordinated by the powers that be, and putting out what they wanted disseminated to the public. When big business took the media over, now they went from a side role into the corporate offices and into the boardrooms.
Right.
And were directly making the decisions and influencing the agendas that were being put out there. That's what the problem happens to be.
Yeah.
And so once you start editorializing, and I told many of my reporter colleagues, you're not smart enough to give me your opinion.
Yeah.
No, just deliver the facts.
And there's this clip that I love so much. It's this American comedian. I don't know his name. I don't remember, but it was like a red carpet event, and a journalist asks him what he thinks of some kind of political current event. I don't know if it was a political question that he asked the comedian. Also, not at all relating to the event or why he was there or anything, but these journalists do that. And he said straight into the mic, what you're doing isn't okay. That's not my job. That's your job to talk about. And now all new companies have been are too, like, literally I think he said too pussy to express your own the truth of politics, and instead are asking people like me and other celebrities who are not qualified or educated on these things at all. And
it's only opinion.
It's only so, and also there's it's just not like it's because these people are influential, and that's why they are celebrities, because they know that kids particularly, or younger generations particularly, are going to listen because they idolize these people. And so now music artists aren't just music artists, comedians aren't just comedians, and
There's social commentators and political
yeah, and
commentators.
because the news is only asking for their commentary, and it's like, yeah, anyway. So that clip that it's I'm sure like it's floating around the internet, but I love it, and I think what you're saying is very true. And I don't like how celebrities have become political.
Do you think your generation is starting to wake up to it, though?
No.
No?
I
They're
don't.
waking up to it more than our generation is.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, right.
I think it's just maybe we've grown up with it. So like celebrities have kind of always been commentate, like people to listen to about these
Do you
things.
think
So
that Kim Kardashian era is over? You know how everybody, like, because I remember everyone went crazy over Kim Kardashian, and she was like the hugest influencer in the world. And it was, like somebody of my age, I was kind of going, like, what's so special about her, really? Do you
Well,
think that time is over?
look at exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. What was Kim Kardashian's claim to fame? The sex tape?
Yes.
The fact that her father was one of the attorneys who helped get OJ off on a murder charge with absolute legal BS.
Yeah.
If the gloves don't fit, you must acquit. Well, I think even maybe junior high school kids understand if you got a pair of leather gloves and they get wet and they dry, they shrink.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a genius for that.
Yeah.
But this is their claim to fame. When they weren't making enough, then they started going and doing other exploitive things. When they still felt they weren't making enough, and that idiot Bruce Jenner
Yeah.
goes and marries into the family, he decides, how can I help? How can I know I'm America's boy. I'll dress up like a woman. It's it's ridiculous. I can go back to, where for me all this first started. And that was
Yeah.
the
Tell
first
me.
time when I heard somebody say, and it was in regard to Barbara Streisand, who I, for the life of me, just can't stomach in any way, shape, manner, or form. But somebody used the phrase, just shut up and sing.
Yeah.
That's what you're there for. You're a singer. If I thought you were smart enough to give me your opinion about this, I'd ask you. I'm not.
mm-hmm.
And that's why I got, again, as we get into the spiritual
Yeah.
aspect of things, there are a bunch of things in modern society. And this happened when I was still working. There were trigger points. And when you look at somebody like in our country with Colin Kaepernick, the football player, I have no problem with anybody's right to protest,
Mm-hmm.
except if you're doing it on my time and on my dime.
Mm.
And when you had a player every Sunday on camera taking the team to a knee when the national anthem's being played, you get virtually 4 days off a week. Go take out the permits, go stand on a street corner, have the biggest rally you want, and say how bad America is. But when more than 50% of the country is patriotic and they turn on the TV to watch a game, you are now insulting more than 50% of the country. And I think the reason that it's turned itself around is because of how much money the NFL, Major League Baseball, and other sports have lost because people said, screw this. I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to go to the games. I'm not going to
So
pay.
for Australian viewers, and people who aren't aware of that, what you're talking about, I gather what you're saying is that they were they were protesting against America. But can you explain what taking the knee, what it meant, and
Oh,
what that incident was?
it's I don't know Australia's national anthem, but for argument's sake, in Britain it's God Save the Queen, and
Yeah.
in the United States it's the Star Spangled Banner. And when they would play it before at the beginning of almost every single sporting event that you would
Mm-hmm.
attend. And so what became fashionable because they felt that blacks were being treated poorly and this and that and the other. Mind you, while these guys are making multiple millions of dollars for catching a pigskin, um, they would go rather than standing up, either with
Oh,
their hands over their hearts or with their helmets off, this, that, would take a knee in protest.
right.
First of all, this is the country that's allowing you the right to protest.
Yeah.
Secondly, this is the country that is allowing you to throw and catch a ball and make
Yeah.
millions of dollars.
Yeah. Right.
This is the country that's giving you notoriety, and you're spitting in the face of more than 50% of the people who give you that notoriety.
Yeah. Right.
So these were like trigger points
So
for
what you're
me.
saying is it's inappropriate timing, that he has the right to protest on
Absolutely.
his own, in his own time, but don't do it on national
Was
television.
this the African American player that was doing it? But
Yeah, the big
do you,
afro and a huge nose.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I have a question on that because um it was a very simple action of going down on one knee. And is there not issues, like was he not being clear, like putting a light on issues that needed a light on them, like things like
Not
the
during a
history of
football
America?
game. Not during a football game.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
during, not during, not during your job.
Yeah.
If I went out to cover a story and started ranting and raving about how unfairly I thought the media was treating the public or how badly I felt ABC was treating me or anything else, how long do you think I'd last at that job?
Yeah. That's right.
Okay.
So
You,
he was hijacking the attention that he was getting to play football for his own agenda.
yep,
Yeah.
not even giving consideration to the fact, like I said, that more than half of the audience that watches football is patriotic.
Right.
Well, now you're insulting more than half your audience.
Yeah.
And in the long run, it cost the industry, and thankfully, it cost him his job
Yeah. Right. The
that he can now
consequences of those actions.
see. But that's something that's been sorely lost in the world.
Mm,
Responsibility,
yeah.
consequences.
But
You know,
um I have one other question with that, because what I see is there were other times that happened like this, where with Sinead O'Connor on television, where she tore up a picture of the Pope to
Mm,
call. But is that not, I feel like that's on a very similar level. I mean, there was
yes.
very similar consequences
and where did
faced,
Sinead
but
O'Connor
both
go?
just as important.
What was that,
And
Mark?
where's Sinead O'Connor now?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
It
Okay.
destroyed her career.
yeah. But it did with him too, with the football
Yes,
player. Yeah,
yes. But in the meantime, Sinead O'Connor did that. It was on Saturday Night Live, I think, right?
yeah,
As a
something like that.
guest star or guest host or something. But she did it, and it was a one-time thing, and it destroyed her career.
Yeah.
This went on for a couple of years
Yeah, right.
and spread to other sports, including the U.S. Olympic team. Well, who pays for the U.S. Olympic team? We do.
Mm,
Hmm.
That's why there was so much outrage. I don't remember her name, but the Was she a volleyball or soccer or basketball person from the U.S. Olympic team that got arrested in Russia?
Oh,
And they went
right.
Oh
to,
yeah, because didn't she like she smuggled
yeah,
something? Yeah, smuggled some
they should have
suspicious
left her there.
Okay.
green things.
some basil.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of like McCartney in Japan in 1980, I think it was.
Oh, right.
Yeah, okay.
Now we're getting into some interesting facts now. So then, Mark, because this is such an interesting conversation to me. Like your perspective is so, I don't know. It's like it's broadening my mind. That's how I feel about this conversation. I feel like you're feeding my perspective with yours. So how has it changed you as a person? Like all your experiences in the media up until today, how has it molded you? Because it's so interesting hearing your perspective about everything so far. I'm really interested to hear that.
Well, I've always been extremely empathetic, and I've always had a very, very strong sense of right and wrong.
Right.
I live my life by the golden rule, and I always use the phrase that, you know, I preface it with, while there will always be a prick in the crowd, if you treat people the way that you expect to be treated, 99.9% of the time, you will get back in spades what you give.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's what I try to do. And, I've been yelled at a bunch of times because of it. Because, you trust people too easily and this and that and the other. And I say, I don't. I give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I give them the benefit of the doubt until they give me reason not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's helped to shape me in that sense. And with everything that's gone on, everything that I've learned, everything that I've seen as a parent, as a grandparent, it's really it's really focused my energies into not only bringing things to the attention of the people that the mainstream media just eventually will, but for the present time just is not going to happen.
Yeah.
But especially with the children, I do what I can to try and protect the children just as I would my own, because it's a very, very sick
So you're
and
talking about child trafficking now.
child trafficking, child sexual abuse, child
Yeah.
um, slave trading,
Yeah.
child organ harvesting,
Okay.
adrenochrome harvesting, all of those things
Yeah.
all fall under the category of child abuse.
Yes.
And I go back to what I heard as a kid, pick on somebody your own size and
Mm.
let's see how tough you are.
Yeah.
And it takes a very, very, very twisted mind to
Mm.
do these type of things. But one of the things that I've learned throughout my career and throughout retirement is that it's also a progression,
Mm.
that people who gain money, it's funny because my father had a retail appliance business when I was growing up. So I grew up in the store from the time that I was 5 years old, helping people, helping customers and checking, it shows you how old I am, checking tubes and things like that. But dealing with different people. And when I got a little bit older and I was making deliveries for them, TVs, air conditioners, things like that, it was very plain to see that the people who had money, not that you ever went and expected a tip, but the people who had money go,
Right.
we don't need a tip. You're nothing. The people who had barely anything, could barely pay for what they were getting, always thought of you and managed to give you something.
Yeah, right.
So that leads to what I was just going to get into, was the sense
Yeah.
of, as especially people who come into money either quickly through a scam or something else, or have inherited it. When you get money, well, the next thing that you're looking for is power.
Yeah.
And when you get, and money and power have been the root of all evil since the dawn of history.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get the money and you get the power, well, now what do you do to entertain yourself? And that's where all these other sick things come in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, let's hunt people in the woods.
Yeah.
Let's rape and sacrifice children.
Yeah.
Let's see how much we can sell the children for, sell their parts for.
Yeah, right.
And these are the types of things that go on. And when you see it and you hear it and you understand it and you see the damage that it's caused to certain people, you have to look at the people who deny it
Mm.
and say, what in God's name is wrong with you?
Yeah, right.
How could you deny that this is going on? How could you deny when they show you a movie like Sounds of Freedom,
Yeah.
that they went so far out of their way to make sure people couldn't see?
Mm.
Why? What are you trying to hide? The
Mm.
truth. And this is the type of situation that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And as a journalist, this is the type of thing that you say, okay, why won't you put it out there? Why won't you do your job and be
Mm.
honest about this? I was
Yeah.
talking to
Good
a friend.
question.
Yeah, go
That's a
ahead.
very good
And
question.
my question with that was, when that movie came out, was the political agenda that the news made it into. Like, forget about there was this story about how it was right wing, this, that, and the other. It's like,
Really?
yeah, like how it was an
Oh, yeah.
extreme conservative right wing movie. And I'm sorry, but it had nothing to do with any, like, it
So they were
was
saying that so
literally
people wouldn't watch
so
it.
people wouldn't watch it, and turning it into they were using political, I suppose, language to diverse and split people so they wouldn't watch it. It's like, actually, no, it was just about child trafficking, and that affects everybody. That is not, I mean,
That's a
yes,
human
okay.
agenda. That's not a political agenda.
Well,
That's
yeah.
a human
Yeah,
agenda.
yeah. And that was my issue with it, because we know, like, we all know that right now in the political space, it's very divisive. And it breaks my heart, because I think it's all the problems are the same on both sides. Like, it's two sides of the same coin, and we need to come.
We've had arguments over political stuff.
Yeah.
And we've argued with friends and family over political stuff. And it's like it's so easy to take a side and get drawn into the chaos and into the arguing,
Yeah.
and take, and then you kind of like go, what are we doing? We are on the same side. We want the same things. Why are we defending this person that we don't even know? Why are we defending that person that we don't even know? It's a very easy path to take when you're
Yeah.
arguing over this
But
stuff.
I think that's why we need things like this movie to show that, I'm sorry, but like, this is more. We need to
Yes.
rise above, because it affects everyone, and it
Yeah,
affects
so
it
true.
also, using what I found particularly disgusting about the media with this movie was using an American political agenda to about something that wasn't even in America. Like, it was America, but not North, not United States. And it
Well,
was
no, but
like,
it was, the whole focus was on Tim Ballard, who was the
Yeah.
former Homeland Security agent
Yeah.
who kind of went rogue to try and rescue these kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that type of a situation, but I want to ask you a question now and give you something to think about in regard to that.
Yeah. Please do.
Why do you think all of these politicians, all of these alleged journalists, people who are not so much the journalists, they're not sworn to anything, but the politicians who are sworn to uphold the Constitution, they're sworn uh, to be looking out for the interests of their constituents.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that rather than doing that, working together to resolve issues, that they go and they play party politics,
Mm.
that they go and they make it almost into a sporting event where my team is better than yours and your team sucks, so you're not going to win. Why do you think they do that? What's your
To
opinion as to
split
why they do
people up.
Why are you pointing at us?
No, because
it? No,
I'm
no, that's
using us as an example,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because it's to split families apart because we're a family.
yes.
It's to split families apart.
Mm.
And we went, hang on a minute, our relationship as a family is so much more important. It's so much more sacred than arguing about this stuff. I mean, it's only been, we argued maybe one or two times about it,
Yeah.
but we
No.
caught ourselves doing it and said, hang on a minute, this is not right. You're my family. Like, you're more important to me than any argument about politics or about some guy living in America that I don't even know who he is. So I think that that's why they do it, is so people can take a side and argue with themselves. My side's better than yours. I'm blue, I'm red. You know, it's so people will split
One of my
get angry with each other.
one of my favorite songs is by an artist called Jesse Wells, and it's called Red, the song. And I think so he sings about, like, I recommend that anybody watching listen to it because it's amazing. And one of my favorite lines is that the like, if we keep going this direction, that in the war that it is going to create, the hippies and the cowboys are going to be on the same side and love each other. Like, the fascists and the Marxists are going to love each other, and we're all going to forget how, like, we're going to forget these ideas and join together, because it's if we keep going the way that we are, we're going to realize how stupid it is, essentially.
Right. I love that perspective.
Yeah, like, and I really love this song because it's so true. And we all, like, I mean, I think if we talk to, the people level, the individual level, a lot of us really do want the same thing. And, like,
we do.
It's all...
We do. And we were like, why are we arguing about this when we want the same thing? We want to end up in the same place, like, and we're arguing about it.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
But facts being what they are, and I've referred to my business as the sharpest tool in the cabal's toolbox.
100%.
Because how else are you going to spread division,
Yeah.
hatred, and misrepresentation faster, farther, and wider than through the mainstream media?
That's right.
We wouldn't be where we are in this fight against this if it wasn't for the internet.
Yeah.
Everybody railed was going to destroy the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So the fact that you just said that, it's so pertinent, because the internet, I read an article from somebody talking about the internet and how social media particularly was invented to bring people together. It was, about connecting over the internet, finding friends that you hadn't seen for many years. That's how social media started. And now it's turned into this um, camp. That's your camp. This is my camp. It's divided people through their opinions, through their experiences, and it's actually a device for division now.
Yeah.
It
And
has been from the get-go.
yeah, but we don't need to allow it to be that.
Yeah.
We get a choice. We can rise
But,
above all of that.
but we get driven by the media, by the
Yes,
powers that be,
Mm.
to be that.
that's
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And it's too easy for people to sit and listen. Look, you get it. It's uh, um, it's in the Ten Commandments.
Mm,
Thou shalt not worship false idols.
yeah,
But you look at your movie stars, you look at your music stars, you look at your newscasters and your
yeah,
anchors.
yeah,
Everybody sits
yeah.
and they're expecting these wonderful words of wisdom to come out and enlighten them. And
Yes,
you don't even smell the bullshit.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Don't even smell it.
That's why
So,
conversations like this are so important, because it
yeah.
brings awareness to it. And I think once you're aware and you kind of like, yeah, that's right. I don't want to argue with my
Mm-hmm.
brother. I don't want to argue with my daughter. I don't want to argue with my husband. And, and you go, that I'm being controlled, I'm being manipulated
Yeah.
by these players on the screen.
Which leads me to Mark, because we're coming to time now.
Yeah.
Did you want to mention the your work and your song and
Oh,
yeah.
sure, I can do that. Like I said, I've been so wrapped up with the children and with child trafficking and everything else and dealing with uh, people like Kathy O'Brien and in your country, Rachel Vaughn, and um, that one of the things that evidently you guys also knew about and you've heard about is called ARC training.
Mm-hmm.
And um, the purpose of ARC training is to uh, recognize, rescue, and rehabilitate these trafficked children. Recognize that they are in danger, recognize rescuing them from the situation, and then putting them in a safe place where they can specialized training will be able to help rehabilitate them.
Yeah.
Now, I did a show about 2 months ago with Tina Baz and Baz, uh, who run the ARC training, created the ARC training, and they run it. And um, they were going to be doing ARC training in my area, and I raised about a little over $8,000 to get, I think, um, I forget exactly how many people trained, and they had a pretty successful thing. And then I had also written and completed a song just a couple of weeks ago called "Who Saves the Children." That's I'm going to be using as one of the intros in Respect, and also eventually, hopefully, when I finish doing the video for it, which should be within about a week or so, uh, to try and do some kind of a like pay per download,
Mm-hmm.
so that whatever money I can make from the song, which will hopefully end up being an anthem and being a huge hit, would go toward art training and toward, at least in our country, in my area, the Sarasota Children's Ranch, which would be a safe haven for these kids to be rehabilitated and everything else.
Yeah.
So, and I'm actually going to uh, contact Rachel again and contact Lieutenant Colonel Bosey and see if we can do another show, this time with the two of them exposing child trafficking in the land of Oz, and possibly start raising money for ARC training in Australia and creating a safe zone rehab for the kids there,
Yeah,
because that's
amazing.
what's really near and dear to my heart. And as I said to you before, as a parent and grandparent, anybody as a parent or grandparent, how that couldn't rip your heart out.
Yeah, of
You
course.
don't have one if it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so is the song ready to download yet?
It's completed. I've done all the instrumentation and the vocals and this and that and the other, so it's completed. But I have to do the video. And this past
Right.
weekend at a meet and greet, I played the song for some people to get them to. The chorus is basically "Who saves the children? We do, we do." So I got about 100 people together standing there and shot it with 4 different iPhones.
Yeah.
And as it got to the chorus, having people do the,
Oh,
we do,
yeah.
we do. And I'll edit that in. So, and whatever named people I can get to show their faces doing the same thing, I'm going to do and put it in. And once the video's done, I'm hoping to premiere it on my show on the 21st.
Okay,
And then
great.
uh,
Watch
and
out
then
for
from
that.
there,
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a labor of love, but I'm more so concerned, like I said, if we can raise the money to fund the ranch,
that's
you
right.
know, that would be just wonderful. And then if we could do the same thing in Australia and in China and Russia, wherever kids are
Yeah,
being abused, we can get these safe havens for them and get the
yeah,
qualified
amazing.
people properly trained to help recognize, rescue, and rehabilitate them.
Amazing.
Happy man.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on with
you.
us today, Mark.
Well, it's been an honor. It's always a pleasure. You guys are great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you again.
Yes.
We'll invite you
Absolutely.
back on and we'll update everybody. Yes.
Absolutely. Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty.
Thank you. See
Thank
you
Pleasure.
guys.
you.
Thanks again.
Bye.